Please join me in welcoming Roberto.
How's it going, social media marketing world? You guys doing awesome today? Great, glad to hear it. You know, it's fantastic to be back. This is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite conference out of the whole year, mostly because of the community and also because of great people like Mike Stelzner and because of amazing friends like Chris Strub. So guys, do me a huge favor, clap it up for social media marketing world. So I think a lot of you pretty much have some context on me. You guys know who I am. Is there anyone here who has never heard of me ever in their life?
Sorry.
Wow, that's soul crushing. Okay, well, that's fine. I'll live. So today we're gonna be talking about YouTube analytics, and this is something that is very important to me because analytics eliminate assumptions. When you have to make assumptions and you have to go with your gut and make your best guess, there are a lot of things that can go wrong, and there's a lot of opportunities that you can leave on the table. I've done over 1,000 videos in YouTube since July of 2013. And I used that to build my personal brand, but I also used it to grow 2 businesses, Create Awesome Media as a consultancy and my Awesome Creator Academy, which I use to help educate and empower people just like you. That being said, I don't think I could have been nearly as successful in that if it wasn't for having robust analytics that could help me make data-driven decisions. And with YouTube being my largest content platform and a place where I built an audience of almost 300,000 subscribers over the last 5 years, I was able to use that data to not only continue to grow my audience and to understand them better, but also to better serve them in terms of the products and services that I wanted to offer through my businesses. And so that's something I want to teach you guys about today. I'm going to be using my background as a YouTube certified expert to kind of put this into perspective because data is super intimidating. Is there anybody who goes into their analytics in one of these social platforms and then feels lost in the woods and just wants to throw their phone at the wall? Anybody feel like that? Show of hands. Great. You know, YouTube is owned by Google, second largest search engine in the world. They've got great analytics. And you need a roadmap practically to read them. You practically have to pull out Google Translate, you know, just getting you deeper into the ecosystem just so that you can understand what's going on here. So I'm gonna break it down for you guys. I have a pretty interesting approach to this. The way that I learned YouTube analytics is it was really simple for me. I thought about if I wanted to understand how my viewers are consuming my content, where they're finding it, I have to be able to go through each and every one of these panels and understand what it's trying to tell me. And I exhausted this over the course of doing that 1,000 videos to really get a handle on this and then to be able to explain it to other people because I help a lot of creators and I help a lot of small businesses use YouTube in order to accomplish their goals. And one of the things that kept sticking out to me was that people were just using the vanity metrics. Like, let me ask someone here in the audience, I'm gonna get a volunteer for this. Does anybody want to tell me what they think the most important success metric in YouTube is? Anybody? I got a volunteer. In the front. Watch time. You're cheating. You know you are cheating. You watch me. You are cheating. That is the most important factor. But you were going to say views. You're new. Okay. Most people think it's views. A lot of people think it's views and subscribers. That is the front line metric that they trot out in front of us, that we use to measure success, that we use to vet credibility. And the thing is, from YouTube's perspective, it could almost be meaningless because ultimately, people can game that system. We've seen purges in social media platforms, I'm sure, right? Instagram, you know, people buying fake followers. We've seen that rampantly in the YouTube community with people botting and doing things of that nature. But you know what you can't fake? You can't fake attention. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. It's owned by Google, the first largest search engine in the world. Anybody here used to do Google Analytics because they had a website for their business or for their brand or as a marketing manager in a company? Keep those hands up. All right, so most of you are familiar with the fact that Google shifted to paying attention to the time people spend on a web page, the time on site. And we then all as marketers moved to making our websites sticky, using images, using video, using podcast audio, anything we can do to keep people on our website longer. YouTube's agenda is exactly the same. They're exactly the same as their parent company. They want your content to keep people on the YouTube platform longer if you want to initially grow. And so I'm going to teach you how you can do that effectively, and I'm going to also give you some advice on strategy, not just walking you through the dashboard a little bit, which we'll do here. I also have a free webinar training you guys can get from awesomecreatoracademy.com so that you can spend an hour looking at this and really see the dashboard up close and personal for yourself. But the thing that I want to teach you is how you can both grow your audience and then understand, because you want to drive traffic away from YouTube to your business so that you can convert or grow your email list or accomplish some of your other goals. I'm going to teach you about balancing this so that you play to what the algorithm and YouTube want, and then you're still able to identify opportunities for your business goals. Does that sound good to everybody? Yeah. All right. So, just a little bit of housekeeping. What you're seeing here is the future of the YouTube Analytics dashboard. You're getting a sneak peek at that. This has been in beta for quite some time. I'm hearing through the grapevine it's going to be rolling out here pretty soon. So just in case the interface that I'm showing you in this presentation ends up looking a little bit different like this one, don't worry, the data that you're going to be able to access is mostly still the same. Getting to it will be pretty straightforward because they're trying to make the process simpler. That's why they're changing things. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at the YouTube Analytics dashboard as it's been for quite some time now, and we're going to focus on what to look for and how to identify opportunity. So one of the things that's important, because we talked about why people look at subscribers and why they look at views. Subscribers means you built an audience. It's like saying, oh, well, this is the amount of followers I had in Twitter, or this is how big my email list is. There are a lot of assumptions and judgments that are based on that. And then people look at views, and then they look at views and compare that to subscribers. Sometimes they look at comments and engagement. We know that YouTube ultimately values watch time because you can't fake attention. You guys are here in a room with me for about 45 minutes. That's an investment of time. If this were a video that's on YouTube, that's very favorable to them because they know that you committed and you spent time. Time is the basic currency of these online social media platforms. Not views, not follower counts, time. Everything under the hood of these algorithms is responding to time at the end of the day. And so we need to master that and focus on that. Part of that is reviewing how your channel has performed in watch time and retentions over the last 30 days, 90 days, potentially over the lifetime of your channel. But also you need to not only look at the individual videos and their performance or the videos within these growth cycles, you need to go into the data of individual videos that you feel are performing for you and try to make determinations as to why they're performing and how effectively they're performing so that you can change your content strategy and your content formats to resonate with your audience better. If you have a video that on average is getting about maybe 4 minutes in terms of average viewer duration, and it's, let's say, an 8-minute video, that's 50%. Up front, that could sound discouraging, but I want you to take the averages in YouTube Analytics with a grain of salt. If you were back in school, everybody remember being in school and that you would be crushing it and you get like 4 100s in a row on your test and your quizzes, and then one day you get sick or you miss class and your average is completely screwed up now. You had 4 100s. You were killing it. You missed a test, you got a 0. Now you have an average of 80%. You look like a C student. Remember that data doesn't lie, but it doesn't always tell you the whole story. So take the average numbers that you're going to see in your analytics with a grain of salt for that reason. One of the things we're going to be talking about today is eliminating assumptions like that and reading the data correctly, going deeper. I want you to understand that there are sometimes a fickle audience within your user base that is clicking away, or they're the wrong person for your video one way or another, and they're clicking away. And you shouldn't feel bad that that's affecting your averages. It just means that your video didn't serve that particular person. And if you're trying to please everybody, you're gonna please nobody. So it's not something you need to be overly concerned with if your averages are there. Across the board in YouTube, it's actually pretty significantly rare for most YouTubers to do more than 30% average view duration on an individual video. It's very rare. You know, Rob's here from vidIQ. That's accurate, right? Yeah, you guys have seen it. So at the end of the day, I want you to not let those numbers beat you up. I want you to use them in context and then say, where am I losing people? in this video? Is it when I'm saying certain words? Is it that I'm going on too long in a frame? Things of that nature. You can use the dashboard analytics, you could find that, and then in the next couple of videos, you could probably change the pacing or the editing or move things along or keep them less static, and so that's making an informed decision, and then you can see if that improves the average viewer duration. You could also do things like alter your thumbnails and say, you know what, I think the problem is that I'm reaching the wrong demo. Maybe if you identify that, you know what, I want to reach people who are 24 to 44, and somehow my videos are attracting a lot of people that are 13 to 17, but those people are tanking my ratios because they're just really not interested in this, and that's not even who I wanted. What can I change to attract exactly the type of viewer that I want? So those are things that I want you to take into consideration as we walk through this. When studying your analytics, I want you to take everything slowly. Don't leap to assumptions, just try to use the data and then make an informed decision around it. So one of the things we're looking at here is the YouTube Analytics overview. Now I'm not sure how big this is relative to the people in the back, but don't worry, you're gonna get these slides. And as I said, I have a free training video where you can watch this at your leisure in front of your desk, and you can see the whole thing mapped out for you. But one of the things that I love to look at when it comes to this YouTube Analytics dashboard is the fact that YouTube gives me kind of a bird's eye view of what's going on with my channel. And I can sit there, and with that sorting button in the corner, I can look at by the duration of the last week, the last month, the last 90 days, or the lifetime of my channel, or I can look at it quarter by quarter. I could look at it previous quarter, I could look at it this quarter, etc. So I could even do comparisons of this year versus last year, year to date. That gives me the ability to understand if my channel is growing, if my channel is in decline, if it is compared for this cycle where I'm doing something very different, compared to, do I need to go back to what I was doing before? So this can help you make decisions. It can also help you just understand where you're at right now. When you see green arrows whenever you hover over this, it can tell you the percentage that you're up or down. When it's red arrows, it's down. So you want to usually be in the green with this. But all of that being said, being able to put that data into perspective is very challenging up front, because sometimes you don't necessarily know why these numbers are what they are, which is why we click into them, we drill down, and then we also start to look at individual videos, because this overview is the channel as a whole. Every single one of the videos in my inventory and their performance for that date range is being displayed to me. Sometimes that's a good thing, just because it means that I know that the channel is healthy. But if I have a series of videos that I'm focusing on, or a particular video that I want to understand better, that's not doing me as much good. What I can do is I could actually use the search bar there, and I can pick out any video in the entire inventory of my 1,000 plus videos, and I can get data just for that one video. And I can start to understand, well, what websites drove traffic to that video? Who's the demographic that's watching this video? Is it people with this age range, or is it more of a female audience because I did a collab with one of my friends? Is it a more general male audience, which I usually have if I'm trying to grow one number versus the other? Which group paid more attention to my video? Were younger people disengaged and having a short attention span around this? Was there a lack of interest? Were older audiences more engaged with this? I can find all of that out. I can even find out whether this video drove subscribers and grew my overall audience. So those things are what we can look at if we drill down past this overview. The other thing YouTube provides us, and this is actually really cool, and this is a feature that came out last year, is they provide us real-time analytics. And this is something I actually love, to go to my smartphone and pull up the YouTube Studio app and take a look at from time to time throughout the day. Whenever you publish a video, YouTube tells you the performance of those videos in the last 48 hours of your last most recently published videos, but it also gives you what the channel and what the video is doing in the last 60 minutes. I'm gonna tell you guys a hack that you can apply to all your social media platforms. Is anybody super interested in this one? Because this is probably one of the most helpful tips that I'll tell you. It's not just limited to YouTube or to analytics. So is anybody excited about that? I need a show of hands here. All right, so here is something that you've probably never heard anybody tell you. Every single one of these social media platforms, not unlike Google in days past, is measuring minute to minute and hour to hour engagement. Anybody, had a suspicion that that was probably true? That they know exactly what's happening on your content hour to hour, all 24 hours of the day, every single day, and that they're measuring it? Has anyone ever heard the phrase velocity before? In the context of YouTube, we have two ways we approach this: watch time velocity and view velocity. The first hour of a video being uploaded in any platform is crucial for engagement. Has anyone heard that regarding Instagram recently, that you need to get as much engagement in the first hour as possible? Doubly true for YouTube. But instead of just comments in the form of engagement, which is the really great hack for Instagram, or shares if you're using Facebook. Shares and comments, big deal for Facebook and for LinkedIn, by the way. Well, in YouTube, what you need in that first hour, besides all of those social signals, which definitely help, is you need watch time. You need to accumulate as much watch time and views as you possibly can. This is watch time velocity and view velocity. It is a big hack. Now in YouTube, we always specify you need that in the first 24 hours, but something that I've been seeing is that if I can get major spikes in that first hour by using all of my other social media to drive traffic and to use a distribution strategy behind that, I can elevate the success of a single video very rapidly if I concentrate effort on that first hour, promoting it as much as I can. And so by watching those spikes and then looking at, having done that in the first hour, how it's performing over the next 24 to 48 hours, I can draw those kind of conclusions about my videos. The other thing that's really fascinating about this is if you see that you're doing something with influencer marketing. Is anybody here actually engaging in influencer marketing right now? You could go ahead and you could instruct your influencers that you really want a concentration of effort on this particular day or at this particular time. And so if anybody's doing any kind of automations for their distributions or their tweets or their Instagram, then you could make sure that's timed for that scheduled release of the video. And you could take advantage of this, and then you could see where the traffic spikes are happening in real time. In real time. This updates every 10 seconds in YouTube. It is amazing. It is one of the most killer things I think they've ever introduced. So let's talk about some key areas of focus when it comes to your YouTube analytics and your YouTube channel as a whole. We talked about YouTube valuing watch time more than anything. And they also value audience retention. This is important. We need to look at where our traffic is coming from to know if what we're doing is working. We also need to know that because if we know where our traffic in YouTube is coming from, then we can go ahead and we can make adjustments to prioritize distribution there. And that's something that we can do even if that traffic isn't coming from our own website. If we see that's coming from some of our other social platforms, we could double down there. If we know that there are videos that are performing well and have grown our channel, even if they're not our new content, the beauty of YouTube is that you can dominate and be the Netflix of your niche in YouTube. Most of you, whatever you're doing, is not saturated in YouTube. YouTube as a platform might be saturated, but there's probably no representation for your business. And if there is, it might not be being done effectively or by people that are concentrating on this level of execution and of data. So you can be a wedge there and you can win by being the Netflix of your niche in YouTube because your whole archive can work for you. I have a video from May 2016. It's my biggest video. It has 1.2 million views and it still generates subs, it still generates views, and it still generates hundreds of dollars of revenue for me each and every month without fail, even though that video is coming up on its 2-year anniversary. That's how evergreen content and that's how the long tail of YouTube can work to your advantage. And if you identify that you have things in your inventory that are old that are still working for you, it might be beneficial to promote your old content and recycle and upcycle that in distribution through social media rather than your new content. So that's an actionable strategy that all of you can use and walk away from today, is to identify successful content in your old inventory and up the distribution if it's still evergreen content, if it's still relevant. And if it's still not that relevant but was wildly successful, it might be time to just do an update or a series around that type of content that's relevant to today. We talked about sharing those individual videos in social media, and I just explained to you why that matters. But I also want to give you a hack about the YouTube algorithm. It values external traffic. Consider YouTube like you would a fast food joint. It's a lot better to take people from across the street at the other burger joint and put them out of business and get them in your restaurant than to just sell to the people you already have. Many people are trying to organically get views from the YouTube community, and that's fantastic and it's smart. But YouTube itself values external traffic, which is why getting featured in a website, getting featured in an article could really help you if it has the attention of the right type of audience. That external traffic is a signal to YouTube, especially if it's from a credible source or what YouTube considers to be a high value source, a major website. That could be dramatically helpful to you. I don't know that it'll help your video go viral, but I don't think it hurts. And finally, overall engagement. Overall engagement still matters to YouTube, and it should matter in every platform because every single viewer, every single subscriber is a real human being. A lot of people cry themselves to sleep at night because they didn't get 100 or 200 views on a video, and I would dare them to come up on this stage, say that 200 isn't a lot of people, and I'd dare them to cry then. They'd be crying because they wouldn't know what to get up here and do. So, I mean, that's real. So, this is one of my favorite tools in YouTube because it is something that Nico from MORNINGFAME came up with. This is MORNINGFAME. It's one of the 5 resources that I recommend, including vidIQ and TubeBuddy and Social Blade. And one of the reasons I like this is because I could use this to explain to people the main things that matter in YouTube. Watch time, views, whether this drew subscribers or not, overall viewer duration, and engagement. I can also put into context for people using MORNINGFAME, and I'll make sure that you guys have an invite code for this. They're still in beta, but you can go to robertoblake.com/morningfame. That's not an affiliate link. They're not a sponsor. It's just a free invite code so that you get, like, I think a free month. And what it does for me is I can see that not every video can win at every single one of the 5 important performance metrics, the 5 KPIs. Some videos are better at getting views. Some are better at driving subscribers. Some videos are better at watch time. Some get massive engagement but can't hold people's attention in the long run. Being able to identify and single those things out and understand how your audience responds to individual videos and even compare them to each other is wildly important. And that's why I love this tool. And it was like shocking to me that they're like giving this for like $5 a month. I was like, are you insane? So I just feel like that helps you put YouTube into context. When it comes to top performing videos, I like to compare the view duration of my top 10 or 20 videos. And YouTube Analytics lets me do that in the dashboard if I go ahead and I click into that. And I can also compare the overall view duration of either individual videos or just among my top 10, and I can see what is performing for me. And if you guys look, the video that's performing the best is the 10 ways to make passive income online video that was from 2016. That's my best performing overall video on the channel. And you can see that does very well for me when it comes to overall video views, duration, watch time, every metric this thing crushes it on. But I can also then look at other content that I'm doing and see what my audience likes more. And I can apply that either to a 7-day cycle, a 30-day cycle, a 90-day cycle, or the entire year, or the lifetime of the videos. So if you do that, you really can start to understand if your goal is watch time, and you know that that's going to make you authoritative in the YouTube platform, then all of a sudden you can go ahead and prioritize making videos that you can prove subject-wise are more likely to give you that watch time that YouTube craves. And then they'll promote and distribute you more in the algorithm. I used this same hack recently in a video called Start Freelancing If You're Broke. And that video did really well for me. It resonated with my audience and it got a lot of view velocity and watch time velocity in that first day. It did very well in the first day. I think in the first hour of upload, it did about 2,000 or 3,000 views within maybe the first hour of upload. Now, YouTube also considers things relative to your channel, which means you have no business comparing yourself to another YouTube channel. You need to be head down in your own analytics because YouTube cares about your data across your unique channel. It is on some level comparing you to other channels at your level, but that's not where it's really weighting things. It's weighting things on your individual audience because your individual audience has a unique makeup. So you need to take that into consideration and, for lack of a better term, stay in your own lane. Speaking of lanes, let's look at traffic. I'm able to see that for my particular channel, there are some areas where I absolutely win when it comes to traffic. Now, suggested videos are one of the most important things you've probably heard happen in most of these YouTube presentations. People have talked about being able to siphon traffic from other people in your niche by doing related content, and that's important. But part of the foundation of that is good SEO, and that's why tools like MORNINGFAME and vidIQ and TubeBuddy all matter, because they let you do that relatively easy if you're not a master of SEO just yet. With that said, I usually try to focus on search engine optimization because from a business perspective, search is intentional. If someone is searching, they're being specific, they're being granular, they have a specific need. This is going to make sense from a business perspective to leverage that. They have a specific type of pain. I can deliver a specific solution. There's a lack of friction there. So businesses, I think, should focus on search. And that's pretty much the foundation of what I've done with my channel. It's about owning an answer. That is one of the most important tips I can give you. And you can put that into perspective here, look at the data, and then see where you're getting that traffic, and then you could pay more attention to that. If you had the proof that, okay, it was external traffic, it was websites, or it was social media, then you could double down on growing your presence there or growing attention there. But if it's search, you could start to drill down and see, well, what key terms are generating the most search for me on this type of video and accomplishing my goals for me. So this just helps you prioritize where you're going to put your energy or your money or your staff. So focus on those traffic sources. This is what an ideal video looks like. This is that recent video I told you about, start freelancing if you're broke. And this is MORNINGFAME telling me how this overall, for what my channel is, how it performed. Like that this video crushed it. Gave me quite a few gold medals there. Well, you know, you'd think that I was Olympic level. I don't know about that though. But this video is a champ, and we can see that. This video drew subscribers. This video got engagement. This video did a decent job of retention and watch time. This video got a decent, healthy amount of views in the period of time that we're looking at. So this video is a unicorn in the sense that it pretty much did it all and did it well. Not every video would be that, and not every video should be that. My biggest tactical strategy for you guys is going to be taking out a spreadsheet and siloing these 5 factors and saying, you know what? Do I have a video that is killing it, or a series of videos that's killing it for even one of these things? What videos? What are the 5 videos that do the most views? What are the 5 videos that do the most watch time? What are the 5 videos that are engaging people the most? What are the 5 videos that are growing my channel and subscribers, if that's what I want to do this month? And then you can either highlight, well, does one of these videos do 2 or 3 of these things well? But if you focus on a single goal for some of your content and said, you know what, next 30 days I really want to focus on getting subscribers, I want to grow a bigger community, I want to build that trust funnel, then you could just prioritize doing the content that's historically performed there the best. If you decided as a bonus hack, because the thing that this doesn't show is, well, which videos made me the most money? And that's context. It could be AdSense revenue. I would advise that it's your actual business. You know, AdSense is unpredictable. But if you know that you have outside data that says, well, this is what's making me money. Well, if your goal was that you need to get things up because you know that you're historically having a down month coming up in the next cycle, you could prioritize videos that drive revenue so that you can offset that. You could use this data to make decisions. And so I would encourage you to not try to make a video do everything. Understand that this is an outlier. It's much more normal for a video to only do 1 or 2 of those things well, 3 if it's extraordinarily lucky. And just so you guys can take a shot of it, these are those 5 success metrics that I talked about, along with mini Roberto. And as a bonus, revenue generation is a 6th, you know. It's that 6th Power Ranger that likes to sneak up at the end of the season. So this is some granular data on that individual video. This is something that I get to look at to see, you know what is happening here? And what I notice is because I accomplished the view velocity that we talked about. YouTube started promoting this video to the YouTube homepage, and that's where majority of its success was found. YouTube identified a pool of users that would love this particular content from me. And it used part of my data against my audience, and it also was able to find similar new people they could bring to me, which then gave me about maybe 200 new subscribers from this single video in like 2 weeks. And I was able to get more distribution on the YouTube homepage because in promoting that video to my audience in Twitter, doing an Instagram story about it, I was able to drive enough view velocity and watch time velocity to tell YouTube, hey, this is a good video. People are on fire about this and it's only been out a few hours. Let's go ahead and get this out to more people so we get more people onto YouTube. Let's keep people on YouTube longer. Roberto's helping us. So if you can get a video to signal that to YouTube by getting that watch time as your #1 priority, getting as many views on that add up to that watch time, keeping people engaged with that video, and you can identify more videos that do that, you can grow your channel because YouTube will give you that free exposure. It's one of the only platforms that is dedicated to getting you in front of more people and finding and identifying new audiences for you. It's one of the only platforms like that. YouTube, in many cases, I feel like is my best employee. It never calls out sick, it never asks for a raise, and it doesn't make excuses. Oh wait, whoops. So, applying this to your content strategy. I actually just told you about that. If you can find something that is getting one of your success metrics, whatever you're prioritizing, you can just make more content like that. And over time, especially if it's evergreen, it will stack and it would add up to even more success for your channel. So I would say that one of the things you have to do is you have to prioritize what is it that you want to get out of YouTube. Is it that you want to initially grow that subscriber base first to a certain level and then later know that you're going to introduce content that then drives people away because you have the audience that you want, you have enough audience to where this might be meaningful to convert to a list or sales. So if you're going to start, don't drive traffic off YouTube early. Focus on watch time, focus on keeping people on YouTube, focus on keeping people going to more of your videos and through playlist so that later you have that big enough funnel to move over to some other goal. And that's what I would tell you could do about that. And then you could also analyze the performance of individual videos in order to make the way that you do your videos work a lot better for you. Meaning that if you find that at a certain point in the video people are dropping off by looking at these analytics, then you could go ahead and say, you know what, I'm going to change up the format. I'm going to see if I can either bring higher energy or change the editing style and keep people more engaged, or add some questions to go ahead and trigger comments, you know, ask people what they think, give them a question of the day. You can use all kinds of things that you can apply in your strategy if you think about it. And also you should look at what your largest overall audience is from a demographic and psychographic standpoint, and you should try to make videos that those type of people would love instead of concentrating on the smallest group of your audience. The smallest group in my audience is 13 to 17-year-olds. Not a lot of them necessarily want to go out there and build businesses or start creative careers yet. They don't know who they are yet. They don't know what they want to do for a living. They don't know what they're going to leave as a legacy just yet. Not many of them. Maybe 3% of them in my audience, and I know that because of the data. I found out that the audience I want is the audience I have. People usually between 24 and 54. People who are just leaving school and have a career and now need to develop skills, or people who want to build a business or want to do better in the career that they have or build up their personal brand as leverage. These are the people that I'm serving, and it turns out that because I've been using my data, I can quantify that and I can continue to prioritize them instead of chasing the biggest demographic in YouTube, which is 13 to 17-year-olds who like to watch prank videos. I also learned something interesting that eliminated some of my assumptions. While I have a larger male audience in YouTube, it turns out that in terms of retention and loyalty, my female audience is actually much stronger there, which means ideally I'd like to grow that. So strategically I could decide to do more collabs with some of my friends who are female entrepreneurs or female creative professionals, and I've seen great performance on those type of videos, and it usually works out. And ultimately I end up getting a larger female market share for those videos. So if I wanted to prioritize that as a goal, I have data to back up that that is definitely something that can help grow the channel overall and rank me for authority in YouTube. I also have found evidence that in those analytics that there are groups of age demographics that give me my most watch time. And so I can prioritize that as well and speak to topics that they're much more interested in. So again, you can use all these analytics to eliminate assumptions, and you can look at this in cycles of 30 days and 90 days or in quarters if you'd like to. These are some tools. We're wrapping up here. I'm going to do some Q&A with you guys. And for the Q&A, I'm also going to do something cool. So if you have questions, I'll actually show the YouTube dashboard in real time. But the tools that I recommend for putting your YouTube channel into context are MORNINGFAME, vidIQ, who is sponsoring Social Media Marketing World, TUBEBUDDY, and I'm actually going to be at the TUBEBUDDY booth doing further Q&A after this, so we won't sit here and take up the stage from the next speaker. We'll just move out into the hall and head down to the TUBEBUDDY booth. And two that you may not have heard of, Social Blade and Viduli. Social Blade is actually pretty cool for just kind of seeing your YouTube channel at a glance, and based on your current data, they can actually predict the future growth of your milestones, but it's only based on where you are right now. It's not based on anything that you might do a week from now or a month by now. It's just saying, well, if you maintain your trend, this is where you'll be in 30 days, 60 days, 5 years. But that could actually, let you set some goals for yourself, and it can give you something to strive for. So that's pretty cool, that's encouraging. And then Viduli has some very interesting analytics under the hood, and I like what they do in terms of helping you break down and understand segments of your audience. And they're somebody that I'm looking hard at. They're a newer company in the space, so just take a peek at them and see if there's anything that you feel they have to offer. I want to thank you guys. This is how you can reach out to me and connect. I'm going to move into Q&A with what time we have. But you can find me pretty much everywhere at Roberto Blake. If you want to go to my YouTube channel and learn about more things like this, I have over 200 videos specifically on growing your YouTube channel. I'm going to be doubling down on some stuff in the context of doing that for businesses, both B2B and also B2C brands. And of course, you can find me at social media at Roberto Blake pretty much everywhere. Remember that free training video is going to be at awesomecreatoracademy.com. You just scroll down there and you can grab it. And if you want to learn more about me, well, robertoblake.com, helping you create something awesome today. Anybody who's ever watched one of my videos knows that. So, thank you so much, you guys.
One here, one in the middle, one on the side, and Roberto's going to take her a few minutes and answer questions after that. We'll down the hallway.
Yep.
Start down there.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going awesome. How about, what's your name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy, nice to meet you.
So, I heard about this tactic from a while ago. I don't know what you think of it, I'm curious. Someone would make videos, release them, and promote them at the beginning. They'd sponsor them, and that would help boost it right off the bat, and then they turn off the sponsorship, and now the shit is coming.
So when you say sponsorship,
Like paid, yeah.
okay.
Boost post.
Okay, so YouTube Boost Post does and doesn't work like Facebook. Just keep that in mind. My good friend Daryl Eves will tell you that it could really nerf the organic reach of a video. I know all of you are maybe clamoring to use the Ty Lopez strategy. It worked for Ty Lopez. Your mileage may vary. Yeah, that's my definitive answer on that. What I would say to you is that you might actually do better with the same ad spend that you want to go on YouTube. In fact, actually, I'm going to go a different route with this. I'm going to completely change and pivot my answer. If you're going to buy YouTube ads, any of you, don't buy YouTube ads to grow your YouTube channel. Use it specifically to target a lead magnet that you're going to give away to grow your email list and start your funnel, and to get people to a page that then goes to your remarketing campaign where you've put other ads that you know convert and work. Don't try to do direct sales conversions using YouTube ads. I'm actually adamantly against that. I'm religiously against it. So do that. I think you'll be much more successful there. Or you could go YouTube ads on a direct sale and be very aggressive about that if you target specific channels where the value proposition is right. But that's a YouTube ads question. And I would say that Billie Jean Marketing, he was here and he actually has something that's very specific on that. So I'm going to pretty much give him the equivalent of a YouTube shout out here. I would say look into his course on that, on YouTube ads and marketing. And I think that that's probably gold for you. And I think he's got a sale. Hashtag not sponsored by Billie Jean. So.
Just a quick follow-up. If I were to promote through Facebook or Google Ads or something else and send them to YouTube during that first important hour or 24 hours, what do you think of that?
I am not convinced that Facebook audiences that you're going to market to in that way have the same context and culture as what you will give you value in terms of a YouTube viewer, because of the culture of the platforms and the intention being different. So from an ad standpoint, the type of person who clicks on that ad, I don't think will give you the watch time and retention that makes the difference there. I also think that you would be better served doing organic there, and I've seen that play out. And I would actually say even more so Instagram than Facebook, because of the emotional value of Instagram translating much better to a YouTube audience than the more pragmatic, rational perspective of someone who's going to be on Facebook or in a different mindset or focused on their family or on a news update. The culture of news feed is religion itself for people, so taking people away from that, very hard. And then I don't think you get the right person. I don't think it adds up the value for you. But you could always try it.
All right.
Let's go in the middle. We'll rotate.
Okay,
right.
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Roberto. It's amazing analytics session. I have 2 questions. One,
Yes.
what's the perfect time for a video to fly on YouTube? Is it less than 10? Is it 8 minutes? Is
We're
it
on the,
10?
okay, so there's 2 answers to that. There's the fluffy answer, but it's still real. And then there's the hardcore answer. The fluffy answer is a video should be as long as it needs to be and not a minute longer and not a minute shorter. That's the fluffy answer. But it's a real answer because context matters. Huh? For YouTube. No, real talk. Because I've gotten people to watch a 3-hour video, but that's partly because it was a live stream and a replay, or I got people to watch an hour video because it was a training, or a 45-minute because it was a video editing tutorial. If you're doing a demonstration of a product that solves a specific problem and you're going granular, because I know everybody will try and tell you, oh, do a 5-minute video, do a 12-minute video, but think about this. What if you have a market in your audience that really needs to get this problem done, they need something in depth and they have to get it right the first time, because they have a ticking clock and they have to get this done for a deadline, for a client, for a boss, but they cannot skip steps. If you have a thorough, robust tutorial that is tight, but it is still everything that they need, they will respect that. And then if you ever need to convert them, you've won them on loyalty. Now, if there's someone who has a limited amount of time, that's even more urgent, and they just need to know a fact or know context about something industry-wise, yeah, be the person who delivers on brevity. I would tell you, do whatever you can to do the best informative content that's short, but then also offer long, granular, detailed content that's practical from an execution standpoint of someone who has to get this right. Get the person informed in a simple nugget and then give them a long video that gives them every single thing they can need step by step. And when you have that option, you're letting them decide. So that's part of your content strategy. Build that out, do both, long and short content. All of you, I really want you to commit to long and short content because I think it matters, because it's about respecting not only your audience's time, but it's about respecting their intentions.
Second is a series. Do you recommend series of short videos?
Absolutely. 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 And I think you need to do a verbal cue and remind people that it's a series. Tell them that, that the link is in the info card for the playlist. Always wear your watch on your left hand so that you actually can know where to point on YouTube for the info card in the top corner. That's a hack. And that matters. And always put it in the link in the description below, and always put them in a playlist, because YouTube understands the association with that. And then your related videos can pull audience and can a high tide raises all ships. So you could play that angle. Absolutely.
Sure. Thank you, and nice t-shirt.
Thank you. Yep, they're my t-shirts. Rock your own brand.
Let's take these last 2 questions and then we'll...
Yeah. Your name was?
Nazar.
Nazar? Great to meet you, Nazar.
Thank you. You too. If your YouTube page is not, if you're not trying to build an audience for nationally, really hyper local, how would you build on that? And also, if you're not trying to build YouTube for, you're not actually selling anything, you're just trying to add to your overall brand.
What's your business? Let me give context. Real estate? So you're a real estate agent. You're saying that your issue is that you're building this out and it's local. All right, and you're using this because you want this as leverage and you want to build a trust funnel. Is that correct? Okay, so what I would do in that is I would literally be Travel Channel, National Geographic for my town, and I would literally build out a video series and go almost television production style and literally have a series of videos. Maybe it's only 20. I don't think it's about for you releasing content every week like a regular YouTuber. I think that you play the Netflix game. You make 20 really solid videos that are about the 20 things that matter to anybody moving to your town or living in your town that want to have context on the best neighborhood neighborhoods, and I think you do listicle style videos of like, you know, 5 places for nightlife, 5 places for young people and everything like that, 5 things you need to know about the local school district, 5 parks, 5 places for families, like top 10 restaurants, do interviews and do walkthroughs through the restaurants and everything like that, best food, like literally make, like what is it called, the like Fromers or something like that for travel people when you want to go to Italy or whatever, you know, the thing I need to go do? Like it's Fromers, right? It's Fromers, right? Basically reverse engineer Fromers in the form of video content for your town, and you've won. Because everybody is searching for best restaurant, best this, best that, and you own it. You just own it. And so I would do that. You have to have video and photography for real estate anyway. That's part of the gig. Just make the best show you can.
I mean, is it all just the tags that are going to get the post?
It's partly that, but then also go ahead and just reverse engineer Google search, because there's already Google searches and there's articles about your town. Go even to the local magazine rack that's about stuff for the town. And who here's in real estate? I really wish there were more of you, but like this is gold and everything. So like
exactly what you're talking about. So I'm just soaking it up.
Yeah. So like no, you guys are gonna kill it. Like so one of you should like do an interview with me and we could like literally just bounce back and forth on strategies for real estate for YouTube. But like but the thing I would tell you is that it is partly tags, but it's not single word tags. Like everybody don't do the Instagram thing and do single word tags. I like if Social Media Marketing World wants me back next year, I will do a video series, like I'll do a stage talk literally on ranking properly if they want that, but because it's just devastating to me how bad people are at it. But don't treat YouTube like Instagram in that way. Treat YouTube like Instagram when it comes to your thumbnails. Don't do crappy thumbnails. But for that, you literally need to put in things like best schools in, you know, my county. You know, 5 things to know before you move to my county and everything like that. The worst blah 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 in my county, and like do things like that, because people are actually looking for that. Like literally anticipate, and like when you're getting ready to close a house and like people actually do close, right? And I'm sure you're crushing it. There's at least 5 things that everybody always asks about the area and the neighborhood. Own that answer in the form of a video, and then you're not necessarily repeating yourself, but then you can show instead of tell. Because that's the power of YouTube, is you can show instead of tell.
Gotcha. Awesome, thanks.
So first of all, I want to thank you. I've been following you for a long time. You're not only awesome at geeking out on analytics, but you are a motivational speaker and you encourage people, teach them, and I really appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Whoever's not subscribed, please do it if you want to.
Oh, that's super flattering.
Awesome stuff. So basically, real quick about watch time.
Yes.
I saw on YouTube under analytics that it said 23%, and that was overall good. Then on MORNINGFAME, which I know is new, I have it.
Well, that one was proportional it was proportional watch time. So basically it was taking a chunk out of the pie chart to saying like, hey, out of everything, this is carrying 23% of overall.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So yeah,
So, and then when we got to Morningstar, it was a specific video, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were like crushing it on everything, but even Morningstar's watch time was 53%, and it wasn't even lit up.
So that was average.
Right. I guess my question though is on a whole, I have seen that people say that if you do get 25 to 30%, it's good. When I thought it had to be over 50%, let's say. So what is a good average for, especially for
So on that one, I actually believe that it might have actually been retention rate, meaning that they got halfway through the video was the context of what it was saying there. And in that case, it was saying it just because of the length of the video. The length of the video was the kicker there, because it was like a 8-minute video, and that 50% meant 4 minutes. And so it's ranking that and comparing that against my usual average in the same period of about 4 minutes and 30. So it's so it's like you have to put those things into context. Remember, grain of salt, and also remember that when we talk about YouTube and we talk about averages across the board, one, we're talking about averages for a lot of thousands of views and individuals in context there, which means you still got somebody who left at 10 seconds. So really take it with a grain of salt, because it's very skewed, because again, if for some reason it's not the typical demographic that you would get, enough of those outliers that are on the extreme tank the whole average. So just take that with a grain of salt, But if you get very good at specifically marketing to the narrow funnel, which is much harder than me because of the balance of education, motivational content sometimes. Sometimes some people want one or not the other, even though it's usually both. Those things, and which is why you have to get very granular about your niche if you're going business way versus some maybe higher calling play. Like, you know, you have to think about those things. I went mission driven with my channel and still managed to win on practicality. But if I were a real estate agent, then I know that for that particular channel, it's about the funnel, and I would basically be laser targeted on exactly the type of person that I want. Being accessible has a price. That's the best way that I can put that. So, yeah.
Awesome. I wanted to be respectful of everybody's time. I know we've got a couple more questions, but we're going to wrap it up. Let's give Roberto a big round of applause.
Thank you so much, everybody.